Well, for more on this, we cross live to our reporter Diabo Sito, who's at Megawatt Park. Thanks very much, Diabo. Now, earlier when we spoke, you had indicated that the state capture report was a no-go area for Eskom, that they were going to be having a press conference on it tomorrow. So how did we get to the point where Mr. Molefe was breaking down in tears and referring to the report?
Good afternoon, Nampu. Well, I can tell you that the tension was quite thick in the room today. But I suppose with the report that we saw yesterday, it's almost impossible not to mention it if you are the chief executive at Eskom, Mr. Brian Molefe. You would have to somehow explain to the country, you know, your involvement and give them some sort of answer, something we could work with. Yes, indeed. Earlier on, they had said that the public protector's report is a no-go area, and they also reaffirmed that right after the briefing, saying that they will go more into details about this report tomorrow. So there's a separate press briefing tomorrow at 10:30 right here at Megawatt Park to detail or to scrutinize this report. But like I said, it was quite an emotional time for Mr. Molefe himself as he first delivered his financial results, which I'll give you just a few highlights about those financial results. And then just after that, I will speak to Dr. Ben Ngubane, who's the chairperson here at Eskom, and he'll give us his views about probably the report, that report, and also the results themselves. Revenue increased by 10.5%. Last year, it had gone up by 22%. EBITDA it surged 23%. If I remember correctly, it was around 11% or thereabout last year. Basically, what this is telling us is that the financial position of Eskom seems to have turned around, and they seem to be much more liquid. We know that they have signed a couple of deals, finance deals or debt deals, to finance some of the projects such as Gusile and Midupi and Ingula projects. Just how much that debt has come up to, I would estimate it to around 300 billion rand by now. Last year, they had their own projection that they would need around 55 billion rand of debt. By last year, it was 46. This year, I think it's just 14% that's short to reach the target for 2016. But I want us to speak to Dr. Ngubane, and I want us to give us his view about what has been happening with the public report, the public protector, the former public protector's report, as well as the turnaround strategy at Eskom. Dr. Ngubane, thank you very much for your time. It was quite an emotional time for you, for you as Dr. Ngubane, and for Mr. Molefe. You had quite harsh words as well to accompany that. Can you share that with our viewers once again, what your real feeling is with regards to this report and how it was prepared?
Well, I consider this a watershed moment for South Africa. We've been, over the past few years, sliding slowly along this dangerous slope. Someone makes a complaint, it's not properly investigated, reports are written that condemn people, that pass judgments without any due process. If at Eskom there is any tender that is incorrectly given, would expect Treasury and other institutions to call this to our attention, and with a full inquiry, bring in the scorpions, bring in all the legal processes. This has not happened. And yet, today, we have a report that condemns us completely. Even a prominent economist says the board must resign. In other words, we are useless, we are complicit in all the wrongdoings. This is absolutely untenable. It will not happen in any democratic country that respects itself, that respects human rights and human dignity. We are sliding along the slope. You can see it in Parliament. You can see it on the streets of our cities. This is dangerous. Now, I lived in the bad days of KwaZulu-Natal politics. I know what violence means on the streets. Why should we create opportunities for that to happen? Because when people lose their sense of values, they lose their respect. There is no imperative that if I call a march on the streets, I protect the shopkeepers, I protect the innocent people. I have marshals who control that this thing is not hijacked by scoundrels and hooligans. It's all just free for all. That's not a society we hoped for in 1994. Mandela spoke of the importance of reconciliation. There's been no reconciliation in this country. It's only in words. Wealth is still in the hands of a few. Those few are not even willing to build new factories and create new jobs. Even the issue of schools of fees must fall emanates from the fact that the country is not united in terms of a plan to develop our people, to develop our youth, to give them jobs. All this creates tension. Then we get political instability. This report could have been delayed to be finalized with the new public protector. We sent in 42 files on the last day of the date the public protector was demanding that we send the files. We answered all their questions, but she finalized the report without even talking to us. Why couldn't she have left it to the new public protector, who would call us and say, these are the charges against you, what do you say? Nothing. Brian Molefe is highly prejudiced, and I'm afraid we're going to lose him at Eskom. And if that happens, Thuli Mandonsela must take the blame. Because Eskom has recovered in an incredible way. No organization comes from zero to an EBITDA of 23 billion. It's organization. No country can solve its load shedding problems unless every staff member, every station, power station, everyone in the organization is working like clockwork, working, talking, consulting, and planning together. Brian did that for us. He moved us from a very negative situation to one where we can now celebrate these excellent financial results. I'm very sorry that we might lose Brian, and really I don't think that bodes well for the country.
Dr. Ngubane, I'm afraid there isn't a lot more time to probe this issue further. But what we do hear from Dr. Ngubane is that he doesn't seem to have much confidence in the current report as it stands. He wishes that there could have been more time given to him to be given to the new public protector. However, of course, we don't know what difference that would have made in the final report. There's 6 months to the judicial inquiry that has been recommended, and before then, we will probably find out, what Eskom will do in order to remedy the situation and how that will impact on its current form as it is, and everything that has been said about it. Nompu, I suppose that would be it from Megawatt Park.
Thanks very much. That's my colleague Diabo Sito at Megawatt Park.